Hey, it's DJ the Aspiring Gearhead. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you missed me. So today I'm going to be working on the LEXUS. As I've said in the last two videos, what I'm actually going to be doing is replacing the hood and trunk struts because they ain't doing their job anymore. So today I've got pretty sure I've got everything I need so far. Obviously I got the struts. I'm pretty sure for the type I have, I'm going to need a flathead. And then to prop everything up, I got my bow staff making another appearance. Still got to deal with the lighting issue. So but I got to figure out how I'm going to pull one of those lights up on the back so that A, I can see what I'm doing, and B, you can see what I'm doing. But I'll deal with that when I get to it. First, I'm going to do the hood struts. First, I gotta remove these pieces right here. I'm guessing the answer is probably just to push it more, but I'm taking my time because I don't want to mess with this bracket right here. Screw it, I'll do it the hard way. Okay, so the top connector came off without much trouble after I pulled this part off. Unfortunately, the bottom one doesn't seem to have that. So, in the interest of not bending the frame with it, or bending the bracket, which happened a tiny bit while I was trying to pull it out, I'm just going to take off the bracket so I can get a better look. That way I can figure out how to get this thing out without causing another problem for myself. So this is interesting. So as you can see right here, you can see a little daylight in it. But yeah, that part I pulled off was right here. As soon as that came off, I could just pull it. The other side doesn't really have that. So on the one hand, I'm wondering, should I muscle it? Or is there something I'm missing where I guess I should go back over the directions in the YouTube videos I watched and see if they mention anything about that. Gotta try to make sure I remember this stuff the first time around. That way I don't have to keep coming back. But yeah, I'm gonna take a look and see what I can find on this. Looks like for this type, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go ahead and buy something that will allow me to just grind off enough of this that I can pull the bracket out. So I'm gonna have to swing over to Harbor Freight or someplace and get what I need from there. I'm gonna check the trunk struts to see if I'm dealing with a similar issue. If I can do those now, I'll just do that, and then I'll make my run. If they're in more or less the same type, I'll go ahead and run, and then come back to this. Right now I'm using the light that fell from the ceiling as the light for back here. But yeah, taking a look here, I show the top bracket has a little clip that I have to undo, and then the one on the bottom, if I can get some light here, same thing. So I guess I'll go ahead and knock these out first, and then I can make the run to Harbor Freight to get something so I can take off the front two. I'm getting used to some weird angles with my lights down right now, especially because I have to keep going around the cord. But anyway, I got the trunk struts out. Here's the old, here's the new. So, except for a few differences in color, they're about the same. So shouldn't have any trouble putting these back or putting the new ones in. And then I can test how well they hold up, because once I got both of these off, I actually felt the full weight of the trunk, and that thing is heavy. Haha, look at that. It's actually holding, the struts are actually working now. I don't have to hold this thing on my shoulder the next time I have to change the tail light, which I've done. And ow. Okay, but yeah, this is great. So, ultimate test though. Let me make sure it closes and opens again. Yeah, so we're good. The trunk struts are working. Now I just got to deal with the hood struts. And actually, now that I'm actually finished that part, I'm getting a look into the trunk here. I'm seeing a whole lot of carpet. I'm feeling that urge to take the steam shot and the little green to it and make sure all this is clean. I've been holding off on that idea though, because the interior is leather, so I got to figure out how to deal with that particular monster. But that's a story for another video. Back from Harbor Freight, I figured the best thing to do to make sure I saved money and didn't clutter up my garage with a bunch of stuff was go with pretty much what the guy at the store told me, which would be a rotary tool kit. So I'm going to give this a shot at grinding off some of the brackets so I can pull out that strut. But before I get into that, since I'm new to this and a little bit paranoid, first I'm going to deal with this light situation. Because the last thing I want is for me to start working on this and then suddenly I'm missing some stuff that I'm still using. So also while I was out, I decided to grab some hooks from Home Depot. Instead of putting some screws in and then attaching the lights to that, I'm gonna hang these. So I'm gonna do that first and then we'll get back to these struts. While I was working on getting these hooks into the ceiling so that I could hang out the lights, I actually got a fun little extra project on the side. See, for this particular hook, as you can see right here, there's enough space for me to slide the straps on to hang the light. This one was actually touching to the point where I couldn't slide it on. So I decided to use the rotary tool so I could gain a little bit of experience and save myself a trip back to the store. So it started out touching, now you can see it's not. It's kind of hard to see because it's so small, but I did kind of a rough job, but I'd say, hey, for the first time doing this, I got it done, so great. And the Lord said, "Let there be light." And he saw that it was good. So now that I have full lighting in this place again, now I can take a shot at the hood struts. That took a while though, because it turns out not only one but three of those hooks were actually so close in together that I had to use the rotary tool, and it took, I think, somewhere around 2 hours. Plus, I wore out one or two of them, so I ended up having to swing back over to Harbor Freight for a few new ones. But it was all worth it, because now I'm making progress. So, on to the first hood strut. I just pulled the second hood strut out of the car so I could start dealing with that too. Unfortunately, it's been kind of a long, drawn-out process. As you can see by this hood strut right here, I use that rotary tool to kind of grind down more and more, but between 2 bits and about 3 hours of work, because I can only put in about an hour a day since I started due to, work and whatnot. It's still not out, so I got way more to go. So I'm thinking I should probably get something with a little more bite and a little more longevity to it. So I'm going to do some digging, find out what I should get next to try to cut these out, and hopefully with any luck see if I can take what I've learned from working on this one and see what I can do to make this one go through a little bit faster. So, yeah, it's getting pretty complicated. Well, complicated for me. So after using the rotary tool for a good long while and going through an entire 2 bits, I've only managed to do this much, so apparently not enough to get the bracket out. So I decided to upgrade to one of the actual bench grinders. I figured I got the smallest one because I have no idea how often I'm going to be using this thing. I can upgrade as needed later, but I figured I'd start here because I imagine this would be able to put more of a dent in this than the rotary tool from what I've seen. And then, since I honestly don't like the idea of using this thing at this angle, where I'm pretty much looking down at it while the wheel is spinning this way, probably knocking the thing out of my hand, I decided to get a workbench. Again, I figured I'd start off simple because honestly I have no idea, and like I said, I'll upgrade as I go. But yeah, I'm going to put this thing together, put the bench grinder on it, and see what I can do about finally getting these brackets out so I can replace the hood struts. Honestly, I don't even really mind that I'm buying more stuff. I kind of figured that I would, and it keeps things interesting. It's just, yeah, I kind of realized the value of prep work on all of this. That way I know what I need to get the first time around. And my workbench is assembled. Actually doesn't look too bad. I figured, like I said, I'm not sure exactly how much I'm doing. I don't want to go buy a big, huge workbench where I can keep, 8 drawers worth of tools and stuff. So this is actually very good. I also like the fact that it has a little ruler, That goes inches and centimeters, although I think rubbing it on the ground knocked some of those off, but I can still tell what's what. And then it also has a protractor. I haven't seen one of these since grade school. I wonder if I'll actually end up using that. Even if I don't, though, it's still pretty cool. So, nice addition to the aspiring gearhead operation. And now that the bench is assembled, I've finished putting up the bench grinder. All I really had to do was attach this eye shield and attach these work rests on either side, so pretty much just screw, 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 screw. I wish I had that much screwing in my life, but anyway, now I'm gonna try to grind down the rest of this one. I figure since it's already most of the way done, I can start with this one and get a feel for what I should or shouldn't do with the one that I haven't touched yet. I've got some pliers just in case I need a better grip of holding this bracket away from the wheel so this doesn't get ground up too. Got my gloves in case there's any kind of debris or just gets hot. I'm wearing glasses right now because I still need to go get contacts, but I figure I'll keep the eye gear nearby just in case. But let's get to it. I finally got the thing out. So that's one down, and I'm gonna get started on the other one. Should be interesting to see how that goes since I'll be pretty much starting from scratch on grinding that one down. And that makes two. So now that both hood struts have been taken off, I can go ahead and screw these back into the car and then put the hood struts on to make sure they work. I'm actually wearing this mask because based on the smell I was getting from that thing, it's probably not something I should be breathing in. So I messed up apparently. The trunk struts went in with no problem, but these hood struts, they seem to be giving me grief, which after fighting with it for all that time you saw, turns out it is because, yeah, apparently I got two sets of trunk struts thinking they'd be the same, but turns out the hood struts are actually a little shorter, so yeah, I'm gonna have to order a new set of actual hood struts in order to finish this off. Alright, so it's a few days later. I had to order some new hood struts, and they actually came much sooner than I expected. When I ordered them, they were saying, oh, they'll be here Sunday. Then they said, oh, they'll be here Thursday, and then they arrived Wednesday, so I'm happy. So right now, here's the old one, here's the new one. They are about the same size. I think this one's a little longer, but I think that's also because it came with its own bracket. So I'll actually just take those old ones out, put this new one in, make sure everything fits, and then I can just wrap it all up. I was going to wait until I actually got back over there to do the big test to see if it holds on without my staff, but hey, it decided to start the test for me. And taking a look here, yeah, it holds. So, great. Now to do the close and open again test. Cool. Great. So yeah, the struts are in now and they work. Gotta love it. Damn, my forehead is shiny. Yeah. All right. Anyway, that is the end of this one. So the new hood and new trunk struts are on, and I'm on to the next thing. See, yeah, speaking of the next thing, I figure I should take a minute and say, actually, my last few videos got a whole bunch of views. Honestly, when I started this channel, it was more like a video diary that you could look at and comment on. I wasn't expecting anybody to actually watch it, but apparently some people have. Thank you for that. Yeah, with that said, the next upload might take a minute because I actually knocked off the procrastination a little bit and started on that list of all the things that I need to fix on the car. As you can see, here's the checklist for my Elantra, and then I've got the checklist for the LEXUS right here. So, as you can see, I've actually taken a second to really look at everything I want to fix, which also means what I want to do is try to fix things in a particular order where I can knock out multiple things at once. That way I'm not pulling a part off, putting it back on, pulling it off, putting it back on, blah, blah, blah. For example, the next thing I think I want to do, I'm still deciding, is that for my Elantra, I'm pretty sure my CV joints need to be changed out, at least one of them. And then while I'm actually in that whole section, I figure I can try taking a shot at getting that major dent out so that I can properly line up the splash guard. So I'll end up having to take off the splash guard to pull off the fender. While that's off, and presumably the tire while I'm at it, I can also get in there and deal with the CV joint. So if I can get all of that, not necessarily in one video, but I can work on all of that while the part is off instead of, like I said, pulling off, putting on, putting off, putting on, etc., etc. That would be great. So I'm gonna actually take a second to try to group those things on the list into things where I can actually work on one particular area at a time. Also, I'm gonna need to order parts. Part of the reason I think I ended up getting a bunch of views is because I loaded up 3 videos within a couple weeks of each other, and that is because I ordered the steam shot, the carpet cleaner, and the trunk struts and the hood struts that didn't work all in one go. They came at the same time, so I could just get to them one after the other. I'm gonna keep trying to do that so I can get to this more consistently, but right now it's gonna take a bit of time because I need to figure out what I wanna order or what I can run to the store or the pick and part to get so I can get all that together. So yeah, the next few uploads may take a little bit of time. Plus it also gives me a chance to work on my other channel, 5 Guitars Guy, where I play guitar. It's actually funny. I know more about playing guitar, not much more, but more than I do about working on a car, but this is the channel that's really getting views. It's kind of weird. I do not get the algorithm at all, but whatever. Anyway, this is DJ, the Aspiring Gearhead. Catch you next time.